Why does it seem like no matter how hard you train or how much you try to relax, your body simply refuses to hit the reset button?
Welcome to Dr. Mercola's Cellular Wisdom. Stay informed with quick, easy-to-listen summaries of our latest articles, perfect for when you're on the go. No reading required. Subscribe for free at Mercola.com for the latest health insights.
Looking for trusted health wisdom you can hold in your hands? Discover the life-changing books of Dr. Joseph Mercola at joyhousepublishing.com. These titles bring decades of natural health research into practical steps for better energy, stronger immunity, and clearer thinking. Take charge of your health with guidance rooted in science and experience. Visit joyhousepublishing.com now and claim your bonuses while they are available. Hello and welcome to Dr. Mercola's Cellular Wisdom. Today we're going to get into something that affects, well, almost everyone. Whether you're a high-level athlete or just trying to get through the work week with your energy intact. We are diving deep into the critical relationship between stress, your hormones, and your body's actual ability to recover physically.
It's a huge topic. And what we're looking at today is really the cascade of effects. It's not just about feeling stressed.
Right.
We're talking about the biological roadblocks, specifically things like elevated cortisol that actually stop us from seeing progress in our health and fitness.
And we have a really focused mission for this deep dive. We aren't just complaining about stress. We're looking at how chronic stress disrupts our biological systems and, importantly, how ashwagandha is positioned as a tool to support balance.
Right. The goal is to draw a direct line between the chemical state of your body and your ability to physically recover. Turns out, those two things are inseparable.
So let's just jump right in. We have to start with the villain of the story, or maybe the misunderstood character, cortisol. We hear it all the time. Chronic stress keeps cortisol elevated. But what does that actually mean for the average person?
It's a great question because, cortisol gets a bad rep, but it's essential. It's your get up and go hormone.
Okay.
In a healthy system, you have an acute stressor. Let's say you're running late for a meeting, your cortisol spikes, gives you energy. And then, and this is the crucial part, it drops back down.
So that's the system working correctly.
That's the HPA axis, the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis, doing its job.
The HPA axis, the control center.
Exactly. It's a feedback loop.
Yeah.
But the problem is that word chronic. When stress is chronic, that HPA axis gets stuck in the on position.
The feedback loop breaks.
It breaks. Your body just stops getting the signal to lower the alarm.
So instead of a spike and then a drop, it's just a flat line at the top of the chart.
Precisely. And this pushes the body into what we call a catabolic state.
Catabolic. That sounds destructive.
It is. Biologically, you have anabolic states, which are about building up, repairing tissue, growing muscle. And then you have catabolic states, which are about breaking down.
And cortisol is the breakdown hormone.
It is. It breaks down stored resources to give you immediate fuel for a danger that, with chronic stress, never actually arrives.
Wait, hold on. So if I'm walking around with chronically high cortisol, my body is literally eating its own resources.
That's a stark way to put it, but
yeah.
It's prioritizing immediate survival over long-term repair. It's like stripping the copper wiring out of the walls to pay the rent.
Wow. That is a terrifying image. But it explains so much about why people just feel so depleted.
And it's not just a feeling, it's a physiological barrier. If your cortisol is chronically high, your body is in a constant state of alarm, and you simply cannot be in growth mode and survival mode at the same time.
The biology doesn't allow it.
Nope. Which leads perfectly into the first major consequence, and this one, I think, hits close to home for a lot of people. It disrupts sleep. But again, I want to challenge this a bit. If I'm so exhausted from all this stress, shouldn't I be sleeping better? Why does the body fight rest when it's so tired?
That is the tired but wired paradox.
Yeah.
And it goes right back to that HPA axis. See, cortisol has a rhythm. It's supposed to be high in the morning to wake you up.
The cortisol awakening response?
Right. It's nature's coffee. Then it should taper off through the day so you can sleep.
Okay, so it's like the sun. It rises and it sets.
Perfect analogy. But chronic stress keeps that internal sun high in the sky at 11 p.m. So even if your muscles are tired and your brain is foggy, your chemistry is screaming, alert, alert.
So it's physically stopping you from getting into those deep restorative stages of sleep.
Correct. You literally cannot produce enough melatonin because the cortisol is just bullying it out of the room. It actively blocks the rest and digest phase.
And this creates that nasty loop, doesn't it?
The vicious cycle.
The stress raises the cortisol. The cortisol ruins your sleep. And what happens biologically when you are sleep deprived?
I'm guessing the body panics a little?
It sees the sleep deprivation as a new physical trauma.
Yeah.
So what does it do? It releases more cortisol to keep you functioning.
Oh, no.
You end up in this spiral where the stress feeds the sleeplessness, which then feeds more stress.
It stops being about, I need to try harder to relax, and it becomes, I need to fix my chemistry.
Exactly. You are fighting a chemical war with willpower. And, well, willpower usually loses to hormones.
Okay, so we're catabolic, we're not sleeping. But here's where it gets really relevant for our listeners who are active, the people hitting the gym. The material says this state slows physical recovery and blunts training progress.
And this is the part that makes people the most frustrated. You know, the learner profile we see so often, they're doing all the work. They are lifting the weights. They are running the miles.
But the results just aren't there. And blunted is such a specific word. It sounds like the effort is happening, but the payoff is being stolen.
It's an energy economics problem. Think about it. Recovery is biologically expensive. Building new muscle tissue requires a massive amount of energy.
And if I'm in that catabolic state,
Your body is budget cutting. It looks at your energy reserves and says, look, we have a crisis here. We're under attack from this stress. We cannot afford to build bigger biceps right now.
we need this energy to run away from the tiger.
Even if the tiger is just a stressful email inbox, the body doesn't know the difference.
Wow.
So you do the workout, you provide the stimulus to break the muscle down, which is what exercise is, but the repair crew never shows up.
So you're just breaking yourself down without the build-up phase.
That is the definition of overtraining syndrome. It's often driven not by too much exercise, but by too much life stress. You're just digging a hole deeper and deeper.
That explains the plateau so well. You know, when you feel like you're doing everything right, but your body just isn't changing.
It's the cortisol ceiling. You really cannot outtrain a bad hormonal environment. Hi, friends. We're trying out a new podcast style for a limited time, and we truly love your feedback. If you're enjoying this format, please let us know in the comments.
Okay, we are back. Before the break, we established that stress essentially locks the gate on physical recovery. But there's one more piece of this that I found really relatable and honestly a little haunting.
Which point was that?
The idea that chronic stress prevents your body from fully resetting day to day.
The daily reset. Yes, this is about allostatic load.
Hello, what?
Allostatic load, it's the wear and tear on the body that accumulates when you're exposed to repeated or chronic stress.
So it's the baggage that we carry over from one day to the next.
Yes. Biological systems are designed to reset every 24 hours. Your circadian rhythm is a circle, right? You ramp up, perform, wind down, repair, and then you start fresh.
But chronic stress turns that circle into just a flat line of high tension.
It does.
You know, it reminds me of an analogy. Tell me if this holds up. Imagine a computer,
Okay, I'm with you.
and you have way too many tabs open in your browser, right? The fan is whirring like a jet engine.
Oh, I know that feeling, and everything starts to lag.
Exactly. But instead of shutting the computer down completely to let it cool off and clear the RAM, you know, the actual reset, you just close the lid.
So it goes into sleep mode, but it's not really off.
Right. The fan is still kind of humming, the memory is still full, and then you open it the next morning expecting it to be fast and snappy. But it's not. It's still sluggish.
That is a near-perfect analogy for HPA axis dysfunction. The biological RAM never cleared.
So you wake up carrying the physiological load of the day before. Your baseline stress level is already higher than it should be at 7 a.m.
That is exhausting just to think about. You're starting every single day at a deficit,
And that deficit accumulates day after day.
which is why the text specifies day to day. If you don't reset on Tuesday, Wednesday is chemically herder. By Friday, you're just running on fumes.
So we've painted a pretty clear and a little bit grim picture here. We have the cortisol conundrum keeping us catabolic, the sleep loop, blunted fitness progress, and a computer that never restarts.
It does sound bleak, but understanding the mechanism is the only way to find the right tool to fix it.
Which brings us to the star of our deep dive today and the second half of our title, ashwagandha.
The shift from the problem to the solution.
Now, ashwagandha is everywhere lately. It's in drinks, pills, gummies. But Based on the research, what is it actually doing? Is it just a sedative? Is it just knocking us out so we forget the stress?
No, and this is such a critical discussion. The research classifies ashwagandha as an adaptogen. And if you take nothing else away from today, understand that word.
Adaptogen. We hear it, but define it for us in this context.
An adaptogen modulates a response. A sedative forces a state on you. An adaptogen, on the other hand, helps your body adapt to the stressor. Think of it less like a mute button and more like a thermostat.
A thermostat. Okay, I like that. Unpack it for me.
Well, if the room is freezing, a thermostat turns on the heat. If it's boiling, it turns on the AC. It seeks balance, homeostasis.
And ashwagandha does that for our stress response.
The bioactive compounds in it, the withanides, they interact with that HPA axis. They essentially help resensitize the body to the off signal.
So it helps the body realize, hey, the tiger is gone. We can stop pumping cortisol now.
Exactly. It supports that negative feedback loop. It helps lower the cortisol barrier we've been talking about.
So if we follow the logic here, by using ashwagandha to support stress balance, we aren't just chilling out. We are physiologically reopening the gate for recovery.
Correct. You are helping to shift the body from that catabolic breakdown state back toward an anabolic repair state.
And if you lower the cortisol.
The dominoes fall the other way. You stop fighting the melatonin, so sleep quality can improve.
And if the sleep improves.
Then the recovery improves. You finally get that daily reset. The computer actually gets to reboot.
It's fascinating because it frames ashwagandha not as a muscle builder, but as a stress balancer that allows muscle building to happen.
That's the key takeaway. It removes the interference. Your body knows how to heal. It knows how to build strength. It just can't do it when the fire alarm is ringing nonstop. Ashwagandha helps turn off the alarm.
So, practically speaking, for the listener who feels stuck, this suggests a total change in strategy.
It suggests that grinding harder might be the exact wrong answer.
There's a hard pill to swallow for high achievers.
It is. But if your system is flooded with cortisol, adding more intensity is just adding fuel to the fire. The research implies that prioritizing stress balance, possibly supported by tools like ashwagandha, is the real performance enhancer.
It's prioritizing the internal environment over the external output.
Yes. You have to fix the soil before you can grow the plant.
I love that. Fix the soil. Because we tend to compartmentalize so much. I have my gym life and my work stress and my supplement routine.
But they're all one big chemical soup.
Inseparable.
Every thought you have releases chemicals. Every stressor changes your hormone profile. You are one integrated system.
So if we zoom out, what's the major lesson here?
I think it means we need to redefine what strength really looks like.
How so?
We often see strength as the ability to just endure stress. I can take it, I can keep going. But true biological strength requires the ability to recover from stress. If you can't downregulate, you aren't strong. You're just broken.
That is a powerful shift. So calm isn't a weakness. Calm is a prerequisite for power.
Absolutely. Calm is the presence of recovery.
Calm is the presence of recovery. I'm writing that one down.
It sums up the biochemistry perfectly.
So let's do a quick recap of the chain reaction we uncovered today. We start with chronic stress.
Which dysregulates the HPA axis and keeps cortisol elevated.
That elevated cortisol pushes us into a catabolic state, eats our energy, and just wrecks our sleep.
Which prevents the daily reset and blunts any progress we're trying to make.
And the solution we talk about isn't just sleep more because we physically can't. It is to support stress balance.
Specifically, using adaptogens like ashwagandha to help the body regulate that HPA axis, lower the cortisol, and switch the system back to repair mode.
It's a complete loop. From the problem to the mechanism to a potential solution.
And it puts the agency back in your hands. You aren't just stressed. You're dealing with a specific mechanism that you can actually influence.
Definitely. Now, before we let you go, I want to leave our listeners with a final provocative thought to chew on this week.
What's on your mind?
We've talked a lot about the physical barriers, but I want to ask you, the listener, if you aren't seeing the results you want in your health, are you addicted to the stress?
Ooh, that's a tough question.
I mean, we wear busy like a badge of honor. We treat sleep deprivation like a trophy. But if the biology tells us that stress is literally eating our progress, why do we hold on to it? Maybe the most productive, most athletic, most disciplined thing you can do this week isn't another hour of cardio. Maybe it's doing absolutely nothing and letting your body finally hit that reset button.
Sometimes the hardest workout is sitting still.
Couldn't agree more. This has been a real eye-opener today.
Always a pleasure to dig into the details.
Thank you for listening to Dr. Mercola's Cellular Wisdom. See you in the next episode.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe now and click the notification bell so you never miss an update. See you in the next video.